Hello everybody, welcome. As promised, I did want to show you some of the results out of the little test kiln, and this was actually the first firing, and this was like a chino glaze that had feldspar trailed across it, as well as some celadon as well. You can see a very slight greenness there. Um, these these two here, these two guys were an iron slip that I scratched through. Um, just see a bit of iron of the iron slip breaking through here. I'd have liked to have seen more of that. But that was the first firing. Come on. Again here, foxglove decoration, sgraffito scratched through. You see when it's in the before it's bisque fired, after it's been slipped, but before bisqued, you do your decorating, and then after the bisque, you put that white glaze over the top. You see. That's those two. This guy here, this was actually chino, but before I did put the chino on, I did a wax resist decoration. Yeah, I mean, I was sort of kind of pleased with this little tea bowl. Although the glaze, I'm thinking, is just a little underfired. That's because of that thick shelf that it sat on. And then here's another one, which is a chino again with the feldspar trailed across at an angle, and I then took my paintbrush, my decorating brush, and flicked from my from the iron oxide. I flicked iron oxide over it. You'll see that's the little spottings that you see. You see, that's what's caused that. Okay, so that was the very first firing. I then did another firing, which you saw me in the process of packing, and you saw me. This was that little pot where I was scratching off a decoration. This is very slightly oxidized, not really properly reduced. I've also noticed that on the inside there's a little bit of bloating down there. You see, there's little bloating is caused by vegetative matter that has not been burnt out properly, and you can see some bloats in there. So that was that one. Another one here, another little tea bowl. This one, chino. I don't know if you can notice, but the glaze not quite matured properly on this one. Wax resist decoration there, just straight onto the clay body and then dipped in chino. So also a small amount of bloating on the inside there. Not a big deal, but just a little bit of bloating. So that's that. This is a small bowl with an iron oxide over chino decoration. And I'm noticing with this one, around the base here, you see that bubbling there. Glaze is not really matured properly down there. But interestingly, whoops, don't drop it. Interestingly, there is a difference between here down the bottom and then up at the top here by the rim. by the rim, the glaze appears to be more matured, which would tell me that there's rather a temperature difference between the top of the kiln or the bottom of the kiln, or that the shelf that it's sitting on is, as I say, absorbing too much of the heat because it's too thick, heavy a shelf. Alright, so that's that. And then there was this one, which was a Shino tea bowl, which I actually sprayed wood ash, and you can see that there is wood ash sprayed over Shino. I just did it in 3 or 4 places. So this one is indented in the side, which I did, of course, after I'd thrown it. So my thoughts are, just go to the kiln. I've been in the process of fiddling, let's say, with this, and making I have made a few changes. I haven't actually changed the bottom shelf. Because I didn't want to do too many changes all at once, because you don't learn anything if you do that. Let me just get the light a second. Down the bottom there, the slot underneath the chimney, I have actually reduced in size, so it's not quite as big. That's one change I've made with this one. And another change is I've put hang on a second, I've got to find somewhere to put this light. Yeah. I used to have here, across here, like a little bag wall, so high. Went all the way across here. Well, I've removed that. In fact, the bag wall is here. I've taken it. You see what I did? I've shaved the bottom of this. See, that brick you see before was placed there like that, which is a sort of partial shield to stop the flames coming up and maybe over-firing some of the pots that are rather close there. Well, we're not having a problem with over-firing it. In fact, the opposite, because of the shelf being so thick. So the flames that come up the back there, I've got some bricks down there which are at 45 degrees. These bricks down in here, so the flame is coming under the shelf, hitting those bricks there, which are at 45 degrees, which is going to thrust the flame upwards. But then I wanted to bring the flame across the pots quicker, so I put this here, you see, and you can see that it's got, as I say, that little curve shaved away there, so that will deflect the flames then this way quicker, rather than letting the flames come right up here to the top of the kiln and over and then down. It's going to hit this baffle thing here, which is going to deflect the flames faster across the top of the kiln where the pots are. So that's another change. So I changed the that little slot underneath there. I made it a little smaller. I've removed the bag wall there, and I've put it up here to form a baffle to deflect. Another thing I've done, and something I may do work on maybe as the firing progresses, but I've you see the okay, so this is where the primary air comes into the burner, mixes with the gas and goes through. It's what we call the primary air. Secondary air is where the burner is located in the port, like that, you see, in the burner port. So it also draws in air here and there. In other words, the space around the burner is a source of secondary air which goes into the kiln. Now, I think I had that space before, rather too large, so I'm kind of in the process of reducing this space here. So anyway, I'm going to get some pots, just a few pots glazed, and put them in the kiln, and we're going to have another firing and see what we can learn from it. So yeah, little by little, poco a poco. That's what any kind of design that you do, that you make, it always involves this kind of testing, making some changes, testing again and again and again and again and again until you improve the design. And actually what I want to do is tear the kiln down and substitute that heavy shelf with this shelf, which is not so dense and has got these holes through. So I'm going to build the kiln on this shelf, using this shelf as the, which will actually mean that the kiln will be smaller, will be more narrow. But that's okay. So, hey, keep practicing. See you soon. Bye-bye.